Hey, Skull Nation. What's up, my fellow Vikings faithful? Can you believe it? Another Monday that's got our purple hearts pounding, but this time it's bittersweet. I'm your diehard Vikings voice, straight from the trenches of Vikings news, and today we're diving deep into a shocker that's rippling through the league. Za'Darius Smith, the beast who helped us snatch that NFC North crown in 2022, just announced he's hanging up his cleats after 11 epic NFL seasons. Yeah, you heard that right. The man's calling it quits mid-season with the Eagles, but Vikings fans, this hits home hard. Stick with me as we unpack his wild ride, his purple glory days, and what it means for us. Because trust me, by the end, you'll be fired up and ready to debate in the comments. Who's ready to relive the Za'Darius saga? Let's charge. Za'Darius Smith's retirement isn't just news. It's a full-on Vikings flashback that tugs at every fan's soul. Drafted in the 4th round by the Ravens back in 2015. This kid from Greenville, Alabama, with barely a year of high school ball under his belt, turned heads quick. From 2015 to 2018, he morphed into a rock-solid starter in Baltimore, racking up those early reps that built his game into something ferocious. But Vikings Nation, imagine if we'd scooped him sooner, we'd have had that edge rush locked down for years. What do you think? Was Za'Darius always destined to terrorize QBs? Or did the league just get lucky he didn't land in purple from day one? Drop your hot takes below. I want to hear him. As we gear up for more on how Smith became a Pro Bowl monster, picture this. A journeyman who outperformed his draft slot by a mile, ending with 70.5 sacks, 87 tackles for loss, and 9 playoff battles across 145 games. That's legacy stuff, folks. But hold tight. His Green Bay explosion is next, and it's where he started making offenses sweat. Skull. Alright, Vikings fam, let's crank it up. Za'Darius Smith's path to stardom really ignited when he bolted from Baltimore to the Green Bay Packers in 2019. Signing that 4-year, $66 million deal, he didn't just show up. He unleashed hell on the NFC North. Over 33 games from 2019 to 2020, Za'Darius piled up 29 tackles for loss and a whopping 26 sacks, earning back-to-back Pro Bowl nods and turning Lambeau into a nightmare for rivals. As a Vikings fan, I gotta admit, watching him shred our division stung like a frozen tundra. But man, that talent? Pure fire. Ever catch one of those games where he'd dance around tackles like it was nothing? Tell me your fave Za'Darius highlight against the Pack in the comments. But here's the twist that had us all cheering. That brutal 2021 injury sidelined him almost the whole year, and by spring 2022, Green Bay cut him to trim costs. Suddenly, he's a free agent beast on the market, and boom, enter the Minnesota Vikings. Tease alert. His purple chapter was pure magic, pairing him with Danielle Hunter for a duo that shook the league. You feeling the suspense yet? What's your bold prediction for how he'd fit in today's D-line? Hit me up. Smith's Packers era wasn't just stats. It was a statement. He pressured QBs into 38% completion rates when targeted per Pro Football Reference, proving he was no fluke. Yet that release felt like karma for all those times they edged us out. Now, as we pivot to his Vikings homecoming, remember, this guy's journey screams resilience, the kind we purple people live for. Skull on. Vikings Nation. Buckle up because Za'Darius Smith's 2022 arrival in Minnesota was like injecting rocket fuel into our defense. We were unstoppable. Snagged as a free agent post-Packers drama, Za'Darius slotted right in opposite Danielle Hunter, forming the deadliest duo since the Purple People's heyday. In just one season, he exploded for 15 tackles for loss and 10 sacks, anchoring our pass rush to league-best levels and helping us clinch the NFC North for the first time since 2017. That playoff push? Electric. As a fan, I still get chills thinking about those strips and celebrations at US Bank Stadium. Who's your all-time fave Vikings edge rusher, Za'Darius or someone else? Spill it in the replies. His impact went beyond numbers. He earned his 3rd Pro Bowl berth and snagged Comeback Player of the Year votes, with a 78.5 PFF grade that had analysts buzzing. We went 13-4 that year, folks. Za'Darius was the heartbeat. But then, the plot thickens. That trade request hit like a blindside blitz. Hang on tight. We're unpacking the heartbreak next, and it's gonna stir up some real emotions. You with me? Smith's Vikings stats weren't luck, they were dominance, forcing fumbles at a clip that terrified offenses. Teaming with Hunter, they combined for over 20 sacks, a mark that echoes in Vikings news lore. As we head into the trade saga, ask yourself, could we have kept him with better contract talks? Your thoughts could spark the next big debate. Let's roll. Oh man, Skull fam, if 2022 was ZDS's purple honeymoon, the off-season aftermath was a straight-up gut punch. After that banner year, Za'Darius shocked us all by requesting a trade, citing a hunger for long-term contract security amid our cap crunch. Vikings brass had no choice but to deal him to the Cleveland Browns for a 2024 fifth-rounder, which we flipped later, and a 2025 pick that became Tyrion Ingram-Dawkins, a solid return, but oof, losing that edge, it left a void Danielle Hunter couldn't fill alone. I remember scrolling Vikings news that day, heart-sinking, betrayal or business. What would have you done as GM? Yell it in the comments. The trade wasn't just moves on paper. It shifted our D-line dynamics, dropping our sack totals the next year. ZDS got his 3-year security in Cleveland, but for us it was a reminder of how fragile these rosters are. Teaser time. His journeyman days post-Vikings were wild Browns, Lions, now Eagles. But why retire now? The drama builds. From a fan's raw perspective, that request felt like turning heel after carrying us to glory. Yet, stats show he thrived initially in CLE with 8 sacks in 23. As we chase his finale, Vikings fans, does this make you miss him more or ready to move on? Your voice matters. Let's chat. Vikings diehards, Za'Darius Smith's post-purple path turned him into the ultimate NFL nomad, and it's equal parts inspiring and infuriating. Landing in Cleveland after our trade, he balled out in 2023 with 9 sacks across 13 games, proving he was still a force despite the carousel. But by November 2024, another swap, this time to the Detroit Lions, where he added 4 sacks in 8 outings, helping them in their playoff hunt while we licked our wounds at home. Watching him in that Lions uniform? Pure salt in the NFC North wound. Ever root against him quietly? Be honest in the comments. I did once or twice. His Lions stint was gritty, logging 38 pressures per PFF amid their Super Bowl push, but contract whispers kept him moving. Then, free agency 2025. He inks a 1-year prove-it deal with the Eagles, joining their title defense. 5 games in 1.5 sacks, 10 tackles, solid rotational work. Tease. But something shifted, leading to this bombshell retirement. What's your theory on his next chapter? Coach? Broadcaster? Sound off. Smith's journeyman stats? A cool 12 sacks from 23 to 25 across 3 teams, keeping his career at 70.5 total. For Vikings news junkies, it's a tale of what-ifs. As we near the end, feel that pull? His farewell words are next, and they're gonna hit you right in the feels. Skull strong. Skull Nation, let's get real. Za'Darius Smith's Eagles chapter was supposed to be his sunset cruise. But nope, it flipped the script into a sudden exit that blindsided everyone. Signing a 1-year pact right after Philly's Week 1 win over Dallas, ZDS jumped into their Super Bowl repeat bid as a vet mentor, rotating with guys like Josh Uche and Jalix Hunt. In 5 games, he started 2, notched 1.5 sacks, including a beauty on Mahomes, and tallied 10 tackles with 3 QB hits, grading out at 75.9 on PFF. For a 33-year-old on a new squad, that's veteran savvy. But after back-to-back losses, including that gut-wrencher to the Giants in Week 6, he drops the mic. Eagles fans are reeling. We're just reflective. Thoughts on how he'd slot into our current D. Dream trade scenario. Go. It wasn't flash. It was finesse. 131 snaps, forcing hurried throws that kept Philly's secondary safe. Yet, with Nolan Smith injured and their sack total lagging at 9.0 league-wide, his departure stings their rush. Vikings angle? Imagine him back for a farewell lap. Teaser. His emotional Instagram sign-off is pure gold, lessons, gratitude, the works. You tearing up yet? Smith's brief bird tenure capped a career of adaptability, outpacing 90% of his draft class in production. As we wrap his on-field tale, Vikings faithful, does this retirement spark joy or what-ifs? Your stories in the comments could go viral. Hold for the heartfelt close. Vikings fam, Za'Darius Smith's retirement announcement wasn't just words. It was a love letter to the game that shaped him. And Vikings news wouldn't do it justice without the raw emotion. Posting on Instagram Monday, he poured out his soul. I knew this day would come, but now that it's here, I'm feeling so many emotions I never expected. Who would have thought that a kid from Greenville, Alabama, with just 1 year of high school football experience, would go on to play professional football in the NFL for 11 incredible years? Gratitude flowed to coaches, fan bases like ours, teammates across Ravens, Packers, Browns, Lions, Eagles, and yep, us Vikings. He ended with, as I step into the newest season of my life, please know this game has meant the world to me. The lessons learned on and off the field will stay with me forever. Chills, right? Who's got a ZDS memory that hits like that? That post wasn't scripted. It was real, humble pie after outperforming his draft status by light years. 223 tackles, 87 TFLs, 70.5 sacks in 145 games, 98 starts, plus 9 playoff clashes. For us, it's a nod to his 22 magic. Tease. What legacy does he leave in purple? We're breaking it down next with stats that'll make you proud. Smith's words echo every underdog story we cherish in Vikings lore. As fans, we felt seen, thanked for the roar at US Bank. Now, as we reflect on his full arc, ask, favorite ZDS Vikings moment? Mine's that Hunter Duo Sack Fest. Share yours. Let's build the ultimate highlight reel in comments. Wrapping this epic, Skull Warriors, Za'Darius Smith's legacy with the Vikings is etched in purple granite. The trade acquisition who ignited our 2022 NFC North fire, delivering 10 sacks and Pro Bowl fire alongside Hunter, pushing us to 13-4 glory. Sure, the trade request stung, netting us picks like Ingram Dawkins, but his impact, irreplaceable, boosting our rush to historic levels, earning comeback votes, and reminding us why we bleed purple. From journeyman to North King, ZDS embodied grit, outshining fourth-round expectations with a career that screamed, Skull, we miss you already, big man. Who's the next ZDS in our D-line pipeline, Greenid? Van Ginkel? Your pick? His numbers don't lie. That 22 season alone vaulted his totals, making him a Vikings icon despite the short stay. In Vikings news terms, he's the spark that lit our recent fire. Final tease. As he rides off, what advice would you give young edge rushers? Wisdom drop below. Smith's purple chapter, though brief, was brilliant, a testament to smart risks paying off. Now 33, retiring on his terms, he leaves us inspired. Vikings Nation, that's the ZDS truth. Fierce, fleeting, forever ours. Hey, passionate purple people, we've stormed through Za'Darius Smith's retirement roller coaster. From Ravens roots to Packers terror, Vikings triumph, journeyman jaunts, and that Eagles mic drop, and phew, what a ride. This hits different for us Vikings fans. He was our 22 North savior, and now he's stepping into life's next huddle wiser for it. Skull to ZDS, 70.5 sacks of legend. What's your biggest takeaway from his story? Trade drama? Comeback king? Flood the comments. I read every one and reply to the wildest. If this fired you up like it did me, smash that like button to keep the Vikings news vibes rolling. Your thumbs make us unstoppable. Subscribe for zero-miss updates on all things purple. From injury scoops like Van Ginkel's tough break to trade buzz like that Cam Robinson deal. Share this with your tailgate crew. Let's get every fan talking ZDS. Hit the bell, drop a skull below, and I'll catch you next time. Go Vikings!